Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name's Jason Hunt. I'm here on behalf of Caribbean Real Estate MLS, and I'm the CMO at Kokomo Botanical Resort. And with me today, I have none other than Kelly Sullivan, who is the curator at Kokomo Botanical Resort in the Turks and Caicos. And I appreciate you being here with us today because we're going to dive into the Caribbean cottage owning opportunity at Kokomo Botanical Resort and Spa. And this is going to give you a behind the scenes look in terms of what the resort looks like, all those benefits, but also exploring what it's like to be owning a piece of paradise in the Turks and Caicos. There's a lot of islands in the Caribbean, but we love the Turks and Caicos, and we're going to explain why we love the Turks and Caicos today. Kelly, you're here with us today, yes?
Yes, absolutely. Jason, it's my pleasure to be here and with all the people that are here in this webinar with us about the Turks and Caicos Islands. Maybe I should just start with a little bit of introduction about myself. I was born in Canada, but I'd like to say I was born, raised, and groomed here, but I have had half my life here in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and home sweet home, and absolutely no regrets. When I first came here from Toronto, Canada, back in the 1990s, people thought I was kind of crazy, but now they ask me, what did I see that they didn't see? But Turks and Caicos is an amazing place. It's like probably the best decision I ever made in my life about just coming here. I mean, the air, the sun, the sun, sand, and sea, of course, but just as an island lifestyle and, with more and more people from around the world discovering this place that people thought I was crazy going to is quite spectacular to experience from ground level, especially here at Kokomo. Which is a property that I've curated and continue to curate with a wellness-oriented eco-adventure type of vibe to it.
Yeah, my first time in Turks and Caicos was not like any other experience I've had in the Caribbean. Going to other islands that for destination weddings and all that sorts of things, like Dominican and Jamaica. But Turks and Caicos was something that was just a totally different experience. It's not the kind of place that you necessarily go to for those all-inclusive. There might be some all-inclusives in Turks and Caicos. There are, but it had a different vibe about it. And one thing that I felt right away was just like, it was very welcoming. It was very safe. That's something that you don't really say for a lot of other islands in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Interesting how you touch on all-inclusive. There's some very successful brands here like Beaches and Club Med that are in the all-inclusive sphere. But for the most part, Turks and Caicos isn't really all-inclusive. It's all-exclusive. And that's where our vibe comes in with, being a very exclusive experience with our private gated residential resort. We're literally like located in the middle of the island. So it's like the perfect home away from home. And, for people that are, whether they're here for a few days or, those that are part of our owners club, it's just like, I've got my place in the sun. I've got my steak out there. And like they said in that Beach Boys song from years ago with Tom Cruise Cocktail, it's like off the Florida Keys, there's a place to get away from it all. We're just off the grid, but, right in the center of town, so to speak.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's talk first, Kelly, about, with all the options in the Caribbean to purchase a home or a cottage or a condo, why buy in Turks and Caicos in the first place?
Well, it depends on what angle you actually want to look at it, because for me, it wasn't about how much money can I make here. It's a small place, all right? It generally attracts people that have had success in their life and want to have a place from a capital standpoint for themselves and future generations to have something outside of the system, so to speak. Like I said, off the Florida Keys, a place to get away from it all, whether it's our friends from America or Europe or Latin America. This place is like a magnet for people coming here. But it's a very stable environment. It uses the US dollar. It's the Eastern time zone. Like the airlift that we have here is insanely fantastic, with 4 flights a week to the UK and like multiple flights a day to Miami and every other basic port on the Eastern seaboard. But, we hear about tax, and government's taxing everything to death. Well, in the Turks and Caicos Islands, there's no tax. There's no realty tax. There's no income tax. There's no death tax. There's no inheritance tax. It's just like, that, which is, that in itself is like a tax holiday. But that aside, all we have, as I see it, is now, and the air that we breathe, the warm weather here. You breathe practically pure air that blows off of the Atlantic Ocean, with the next closest landmass being the west coast of Africa. And of course, the original name to fame for Turks and Caicos is Grace Bay Beach, where we have an amazing, amazing beach club set up. It's a few minutes away from the property. So you've got good weather, you've got a great climate, you've got a great environment that's very welcoming of investment here. At the present moment, there's over $2 billion US in the pipeline of new resort construction. And I'm not talking independent properties like ourselves. I mean, I was an early bird here, but as we speak, you've got the Kapinski, you've got the Kimpton, you've got the St. Regis, Ritz-Carlton was recently done. You got the Lorne and Turtle Cove that's not too far away, all super high. Hyatt's doing their first property here. So you got all Intercontinentals just announced a hotel being done here. And all of these properties being built today, they're starting with raw space. They're not going to be ready for 3 to 5, or who knows, however many years. And based on the historicals of doing things here, Kokomo's curated organically over a number of years. But going from concept to completion with seasoned developers that do an excellent job here, from start to finish, it could take 5 to 7 years, no problem. Whereas with Kokomo, I live in the now. And right now we have 27 beautiful Caribbean cottages that are available. Once they're gone, they're gone. I guess playing Monopoly as a kid, you always wanted to have the small properties start collecting rent right away. Well, I mean, the cottages have had an amazing track record. Like, the revenue clock never stops, even through times like COVID, or we had in 2017 we actually had a hurricane come here that was quite devastating for the island. But with the way everything was built, business was good. We got booked out for 3 months for people coming here to do other things, because I built not to sell. I built like, this is going to be here forever and part of my legacy. So now I'm looking for the rest of these 27 people to take my legacy, what I've started, because it resonates with them, and take it into their future generations. Our family cottage in the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Definitely. Speaking of Turks and Caicos Islands, for those out there that are not familiar with the geography of Turks and Caicos and where it's located, you're there slap dab right in pretty much just north of Dominican. But what did you call it, Kelly? It was not just the pearl of the Caribbean, but the pearl of the world.
Yeah, I encourage people, like the listeners here today, we've all heard of Google Earth. So on Google Earth, just find Turks and Caicos Islands, like you're seeing this photo right here, this screenshot. And from that, zoom out, like you're as far as you can be away in space, looking at the big blue marble. And what you're going to discover, no matter how you spin that blue marble around, which any rotation, you're going to see that this is a baby blue pearl, not just in the Caribbean, like you can see the archipelago to compare the Bahamian Islands. Spin the whole world around, and you're not going to find another spot on planet Earth like this. So yes, it's a pearl that people have discovered in the Turks and Caicos Islands, but it's actually a pearl of the world.
And Kokomo, where's Kokomo? Kokomo is located right here, Providenciales,
Right,
what's known as Provo.
Yeah, right in the middle of Providenciales. So anywhere to get from the airport to the property, or from anywhere you want to be on Grace Bay, hitting out all the restaurants and the shopping, or the golf course, or all the different water activities. We're surrounded. Grace Bay is the most famous beach, but you're surrounded by beaches. But more and more people are coming, not for the beach. That's like earlier generations just wanted to be beach bunnies, flake and bake. If you look at where it says, on this map here, Turtle Tail and Cooperjack, right in the middle of those, coming to the north where Grace Bay Beach is, like right where you see Turtle Cove going up in there, just back from in there is where we're located, like a couple minutes away. And where it says the Bite, that entire stretch there is Grace Bay Beach, and that's where we got our beach club. Interestingly enough, if I took the value or the price of all the cottages combined in this full private gated residential resort on the amount of land that sits here, if this property was actually right on the beach, the raw land is more expensive than the entire resort, which makes it accessible luxury. But we still have the benefit of Grace Bay Beach with an amazing beach club right on Grace Bay Beach beside the Waimara.
Yeah, when traveling there, I thought that was one of the best parts of the experience is, really Kokomo was a place to stay, but you can play everywhere. You have close accessibility to multiple beaches, not just one. You're not stuck there on one beach having to battle around for towels and beach chairs as you would do at other resorts. It's like we'll get into the private beach club shortly, but the fact is that you are in the middle, which does give you access to so many different beaches and perfect for things such as kite surfing, snorkeling, scuba
Yeah.
diving. You have access to so many different places.
Yeah. Yeah. So like with this photo right there, or that screenshot that you had just there, if you maybe just go back, you can see Taylor Bay, Sapodilla Bay, and then you've got Turtle Tail, then you've got the Bight all the way through to Leeward, then you've got Long Bay. All of these bays, all of these areas have beaches, and so it's like you can literally, if beaches was your thing, right? Every day you can go to a different beach for on a vacation basis, right? But you're right, like kiteboarding and scuba diving and snorkeling and just getting out on that water. Oh my God, 50 Shades of Blue. Well,
This is Turtle Cove. This is Turtle
Turtle
Cove,
Cove.
right? Yeah, not too
Yeah,
far. That's probably what about is
3
it
minutes and 40,
3 minute?
three
Okay.
minutes and 40 seconds away. I've been here a long time.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk about specifically Kokomo and what it's all about today, and how it offers unmatched luxury and privacy. 38 private cottages nestled in a gated residential resort. Experience a serene and intimate environment surrounded by native fauna.
Mm, mm.
First,
Well,
go ahead, Kelly.
we're a botanical resort and proud of it. People, when they go to the Caribbean, they expect lushness and tropical plants and foliage and what have you may. And as an island destination, unlike most of the other islands of the Caribbean, we have one of the fewest number of rain days in an entire year. In fact, on the government website, I think they say somewhere up to the range of like 350 days of sunshine. Um, well, if it rains for an hour, and it's like watching the cloud go by, and then you're getting to witness some beautiful weather, but it doesn't stay with you. But yeah, within Kokomo, it's we call it accessible luxury because of the price point. I mean, Turks and Caicos is not the least expensive place, but if you go Google the number of people coming here, we're setting record after record after record with growth and development. It's just like people just want to be here. I mean, I guess I'm kind of biased because I've been here a long time, but I knew once I first came here, I said I was done. I don't need to look anywhere else. And it's an amazing opportunity for those that, it's not the Dominican Republic, right? But you don't have to walk to the resort and be concerned with your life either, right?
Well, that too, and one thing I recall, Kelly, being there in Turks and Caicos at Kokomo, comparing it to Dominican, because I literally was there 1 week after the other for separate trips. And first of all, the accessibility to the airport, you're literally like you arrive and you're at the resort in literally no time. I think it's a 10-minute shuttle from
like 7 8 minutes.
Yeah,
Yes,
7-8 minutes to the resort. And then comparing, even just looking at the streets as you're driving to the resort, they're clean, they're neat, they're tidy. A lot of the shops on the side of the road are very accessible, inviting. You don't get that kind of a vibe in other islands, like Dominican, for example. I don't feel that same type of a welcoming vibe in the local businesses in a place like Dominican compared to Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, Dominican is a completely different marketplace. People that come here don't really go to the Dominican, and people that go to Dominican don't usually come here.
Yeah.
Catering, it's just a different, it's just a different niche market that we are, in here in Turks and Caicos. I mean, you have scale in a place like Dominican Republic, massive volume. Good things come in small packages, though, and that's exactly what they're about. I've often referred to them like Monopoly, like they're little properties, but there's like a little field of diamonds. That are hard to see because the foliage now is just so dense. I mean, we have to have full-time horticulturalists here. We got our beach attendants too, but we got horticultural side of things is really, really big for us. With our little eco environment here. You see the pool, that's a freshwater pool, no chlorine, no salt. right? It's like a whole little, you can't really tell from these pictures here, but we have a lot of orchids growing around the pool, and the spray that would come off of the waterfalls that are in the back there into the air would then basically could burn the plants, right? So our koi fish are happy, our turtles are happy, our orchids are happy, or all the various fruit trees that we have, everything is like happy, right? And it's all connected by these nature trails. We have on the property just under a kilometer of nature trails. And along that trail, in the whole wellness orientation, we have a Balinese spa there. And our spa therapists, when they're not busy taking care of our owners or our guests with their treatments, they're actually going into the most expensive villas on the island and providing the exact same services to people that obviously have a lot more disposable income, the private jet setter types, right? But so our owners and our guests, they get an experience for a fraction of the price that others are paying, right? To me, that's part of the value proposition, right? But then we have a beach club as well on Grace Bay Beach. It's like Grace Bay Beach. It's like it's #1 in the world almost every year on TripAdvisor and Condé Nast Traveler and what have you may. But it wouldn't be complete. You want to eat well, you want to stay well, you want to be well. But we have what we call the Market Cafe, and it's a whole wellness oriented type of menu. Yeah, you've got to detox and retox. You're on vacation, having fun. But, we try to use raw ingredients with almost everything. Nothing is, hyper processed foods. You're not going to find that, out here. In fact, we don't even use like local lobster or conch. We want that just to stay in the water so that when you go snorkeling, you'll always have a chance to see the natural beauty that's, just under the surface, because it is a really amazing place. And last, obviously amenities. If you look at our reviews, our scores on TripAdvisor, on Google My Business, whatever ones you want to look at, we consistently get like really, really high scores. And when we don't, it's just some of this is so totally absurdly unrealistic, right? But everything's personal here. You're a name, not a number. And from the moment you arrive as an owner, you're no different than if you're a full paying resort guest. So, it's like you're on vacation at your vacation home, not having to take a vacation, take care of the vacation home. When you're on vacation, then need a vacation after that, if that makes any sense. So it's just about, relax, breathe, and grow, and just enjoy life and smell the roses or the gardenia or the jasmines of the gardens along the way.
We're going to dive more deeper into these amenities later on, but I think what's very important now is where are people staying before they go and play around the island, and that's diving into the cottages. So, Kelly, maybe first we'll talk about the classic family Caribbean cottage.
Yeah, so we have basically in the simplest of terms, common denominators, we have a series of cottages that are what we call the classic cottages, like from the original ones. That get an extreme makeover, as you'll see in some photos. But when I was growing up in Canada, and my father, our cottage was in a place called Muskoka, Honey Harbor. You're from Canada. You probably heard of Honey Harbor and Muskoka and whatever. But we had our main home, but then we went to our family cottage, which was small. It was rustic, because the focus was not about being inside. It was always being outside, right? Of course, that cottage you can only use 12 weeks of the year, but the cottages in Turks and Caicos at Kokomo, you can use them 12 months of the year, because every month is June. But they're set up, as a family cottage. They're intimate, they're quaint, they're super comfortable, and all at the same time, there's a level of practicality to them that is accommodating for people that are here looking at that island lifestyle. If you want to be indoors all day, you might want more space. But if you want to get out there, take in that, the sunshine and get your fix of vitamin D and breathe in that fresh air and and whatever it is that you enjoy doing, even just within the property. You can pass a day within the property just by nature trails and spa and hanging around by the pool, go into our hot plunge. And if not, the cottages we have in part of our concierge club, which we'll talk about afterwards. But we have car rentals right on property. That but if you belong to the concierge club, you've got your car when you need it. You don't even have to own a car, the insurance and licensing and all that sort of stuff. But here you're seeing the classic cottage. So one bedroom is set up with a king, and the second bedroom it's either set up with two twin beds, and those are the full extended twins, not the short twins. So that it's the same length of the bed as the king beds, because you don't have adult kids, right? But it could be king and two twins, or it could be two kings just the same. All marble floors. You have a galley type kitchen, with super modern appliances. More storage than you could ever expect to have in such a small cottage like this. You got your lounge area and your basic amenities with a bathroom. Anything that is wood is actually not wood. It's all bamboo. It's all part of our sustainability statement. Keep the trees in the forest. But bamboo is like a shoot. It's like grass. We got to cut it all the time, and it keeps on growing, right? So everything that's wood in the place, like the furniture, the tables, the doors, the beds, it's all all custom made furniture. With a great appliance package, and it works. But for those that want to have a more upscale experience, we got the yacht suite. I call it a yacht suite because, and ironically, if it was a yacht, it'd be a lot more expensive to maintain, and it wouldn't be any bigger, and it'd be a heck of a lot more expensive than the yacht suites at in the private gated Kokomo Botanical Resort. But this is where we just really turn it up a notch, so you have the same level of luxury per square foot that you get. It's on par or better than the best of the best that's out there, available on the island for, of course, significantly higher price points. But with the premium appliance packages, all the kitchen, the countertops, they're all black granite. Has a wine fridge in there, dishwasher, bottom mount fridge. If you think about it, we go into the freezer all the time, but we mostly go into the fridge, especially down here. So the freezer, it's just practical to have it underneath and have the fridge up above. Why make it harder on ourselves? Sunken shower. There you go. There you're seeing it. I call it a galley kitchen, and tying with the yacht suite theme. But you can see full backsplash black granite countertops. You can see the undermount stainless steel sink there, and nice under accent lighting. But if you look out the window, that's what you're going to see. You're going to be surrounded by gardens. So it's not like most of these condo resort developments that are taking place that I mentioned before. They're door by door and floor by floor. But whereas here, you don't have any attached units above you, below you, or beside you. What's around you is all dedicated green space, which makes up the botanical gardens. So you can literally walk around the whole property and go from cottage to cottage without actually going on the driveways or where the vehicles are, which is kind of nice. Here you can just see, how close we are to the beach. You can see the blue there. It's like literally from where you have that one picture there on the right side. You leave the gated entry there, and literally within a few minutes, you're on Grace Bay Beach. And we provide a shuttle that goes back and forth, complimentary to guests and owners. Takes them back and forth to the beach club. So if they're out going for a beach walk and then they're going to go bar hopping on the beach to the different resorts, which are all open to everyone, every single resort with pleasure. You can't use their beach chairs or their pools, but you can certainly use their watering holes. And, so if you're having fun, you're on vacation, smelling the roses and looking back and say, hey, I did all right with this thing called life, but then you don't have to get in your car and drive back to your cottage. We'll take care of that for you. So here you see this illustrative site plan of all the cottages. So you have 3 different cul-de-sacs. Yes, of course, there's a number of units that have already been sold. There's still 27 that are remaining, but you could have your cottage on the first phase, and you would never know the people on the third phase. So the whole entire essence and feel of the property is that it's private, it's secluded, but in the middle of the property where it says we is literally that. Without you, there is no we, but it's west and east. So from a culinary standpoint, it's where east meets west in the kitchen and the bar. But the kitchen is the hub of the home. The kitchen, or the We Market Cafe, is the hub of the property. So it's where people congregate to. But even if you didn't want to cook in your cottage, whether you're on vacation, we don't have room service, we have cottage service. So you have this amazing menu. Whether you're an owner or a guest, you just order cottage service, and then you can have those Wagyu sliders delivered to your cottage. I mean, that doesn't sound so healthy, but you can also get your Chinese noodle bowl and have that delivered to your cottage with some steamed edamame or whatever have you may. I make myself hungry now, but because it's food that you can actually eat every single day. But when you want to get off property, which is highly encouraged in Grace Bay, you can see from this year that everything is just a few minutes away. I mean, Taylor Bay, I mean, that's almost as far as you're going to need to go or want to go, but everything else is less than that. But you think of most people when they go to work each day, how much time do they spend? So it's almost like blinking and you're there. But
one of the things I loved there, Kelly, when I was there, was being able to enjoy also some of the specific cuisine. I mean, off the resort, like Omar's Beach Hut, which is a great example. It's fantastic. Omar's is fantastic.
Yeah, Omar Sharif, we call him.
I think it's a famous spot because I think Drake loves Turks and Caicos, and every time Drake's in town, I believe he goes to Omar's Beach Hut.
Yeah, that's one of the spots. It's an absolute. I mean, Omar is an amazing character. You gotta love the guy, But when you're out there at Omar's Beach Bar, it's like the beauty and the simplicity, right? It's just the views are stunning, the experience is amazing. It's just so casual, it's just so relaxed. And the thing is that you never know who you're going to meet at these different establishments, because there's more private jets that fly into Turks and Caicos on a daily basis than we do with all the commercial airliners that fly here, including Virgin Atlantic and British Airways and every single in every major American airline, and of course Air Canada, and periodically WestJet flies here too on a year-round basis.
I think it's worth noting. Didn't Prince own a house in Turks and Caicos, probably about 5 to 10 minutes away from Kokomo? Wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, where we are, from the airport to go to Prince's house, you basically have to pass the road where Kokomo is. You just go further down into what's called Turtle Tail, right? But with the panoramic views from Kokomo look onto the Caicos Bank onto the south, and that's exactly where Prince's house house is still there. You can rent it. I think it's around 18,000 a night. Wow. A minimum of 5 nights, I think it is. But you see, these people will come to We Market Cafe that stay there, just for a casual meal, but it's private, it's gated, it feels very comfortable. But there's so many dining experiences that are here, so many places to go. And this is why, like with our spa, when they're not, catering to our guests within our 38 cottages, the staff is doing out calls around the island. But you see, like, our orchids, our plants. In fact, one special experience that we have there, if you look in the back there, the middle row to your right, you'll see it outdoor. You'll see that beam there. That's a special treatment. That's like a 5-ton granite table. We call it the fire and water treatment, where people are accustomed to having a hot stone massage. Well, this is different. We put the table on fire, so the stones aren't on you. You're on the stone. You're on the stone table having a hot essential oil massage, and then when it's all finished, the beam overhead is like a Vichy shower massage. So we call it fire and water, but it's just an incredible experience within our spa there. And of course,
we're going to get into Lavina Spa in a second, but before we get into Lavina Spa, Kelly, let's talk a bit about why a lot of people are here in the first place, and that's maybe to see a beach and be on the beach and escape maybe the cold in the winter, have summer 12 months of the year, and explore. And let's talk a bit about Kokomo's private beach club.
Yeah, well, the beach itself is a public beach, and no resort from end to end owns the beach. It's part of a national park system. So even the beachfront resort developments, they put their chairs and umbrellas in the beach, just like we do. We have a license to do what we're doing in that regards, because thankfully government does a good job trying to regulate who does what. That's why you don't have 50 people coming up to harass you to buy something that you really don't want. But so where our beach club is accessed through what's called the Bite Park. Now, the master planners from 30-40 years ago had designated one of the best spots of the entire beach for all the people that are living and working in Turks and Caicos Islands, and it happens to be the closest access point for Kokomo. But this land that you're looking at right here If you were to be able to buy this land on an acre basis, you're looking at $5-6 million US minimum an acre just for the dirt. And we have our beach club there. Like, we don't own the beach, we don't own the land, but we don't need to, because it's all part of the public beach system. So we've been had this beach club set up here now for it's like 10 years. We actually, are doing an upgrade, ready for this coming season, with more umbrellas, more chairs, and how typically places like the Dominican Republic, you gotta get up at 6 o'clock in the morning when you really want to sleep in because you're on vacation to try to secure a seat on the beach. Not with us. When you're ready to go to the beach, you've got your chairs at the beach, right? So you don't have to fret about reserving your spot, right? When you're ready, we're ready.
That's what I did love about the beach club was the simple fact that it was just so private. There, like you said, there's nobody
Well,
harassing you about purchasing products or this and that. It's just very quiet, very private.
yeah. Well, when you look at this picture here, the beach is massive. You could run a marathon. You could do a full marathon from end to end if you went there and back, right? So it gives you opportunity for things to be really spread out. So you don't have like everybody stuffed into a sardine can to begin with. But one other point I should make about our beach club is that if you look at the room to beach attendant ratio, right? Our ratio of all the resorts on Grace Bay Beach, we have a lower beach, we call him beach butler, but a beach attendant to chair ratio. So it's a very the concierge services that we have back on Kokomo, are basically carried through at the beach, right? So it's very personalized, and it's like, well, someone's there to take care of me. Yeah, here you can see from Kokomo, it's just a few minutes away. Years ago, in the spirit of Bob Marley, he had this song that obviously you can go play called "Stir It Up," right? And when I decided to create this, botanical resort experience, because like the first tier is all done now on the beach. Soon later it's a second tier. So we're like what's considered the very first second tier boutique private gated residence resort in the history of the Turks and Caicos Islands. But as a second tier property, obviously you get the same benefits of everything, but at a lower price. But you're stirring it up when you're going forward and offering this experience for a fraction of the price of the top end resorts. But if it was on the beach, it'd be more expensive than most of the beach resorts because it's so personalized. But that song "Stir It Up," the song is like 2 minutes and 40 seconds or thereabouts. And I had a GoPro camera and then a Ford Explorer, hi ho, off to the beach I go, uncut, unscripted, and anything. And there you go. By the time the song's over, you're on Grace Bay Beach.
Amazing. Yeah. Now going back to Lavina Spa, which we touched on a second ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's that table you see there in the lower right-hand corner. That's it's a signature experience that we offer at the Lavina Spa. But the spa therapist, the manager, they're all Balinese. And Lavina, if you're to go do a name search on what's Lavina, well, it's a very famous spa in Bali, right? So hence the name. So, and the spa therapist, like I said, when they're not taking care of our owners and our guests, they're doing out calls. But Dr. Wellness, one of the spa therapists there, he spent years at the Shambhala Spa over at Como Parrot Key, which is not where Prince was, but that's where Donna Karen and Bruce Willis and all kinds of, celeb type people would go. And, he worked there for several years, but now he's at Kokomo. So we're really proud of the team that we have that provide these spa services. I go on myself on a regular basis. I say, I can't turn down the value and it's just an amazing experience. They really know what they're doing, right?
After a long day of kite surfing and exploring the beaches, people get hungry. Where do they go?
Well, the Market Cafe, it's open every day of the week except Mondays, because even our staff wants to have relaxed, breathe, and grow, and get out there and enjoy the lifestyle that we have here. But so it's like we harvest from the gardens whatever we can when we can, but elsewise we're just using just amazing ingredients, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 6 days a week, and it's it's a well-priced menu, but we bring in some of our core ingredients. Like we fly our steaks, we fly them in from the St. Lawrence market in Toronto, Canada. So it's a premium steak. And the craziness is the exact same steak from the exact same butcher in St. Lawrence market that is found at restaurants in Toronto is more expensive in Toronto than it is here. Yet we've got the added cost of bringing it in by FedEx, like fresh. I mean, it's like 28 days aged when it comes here, but then it goes on to our Argentine grill that we cook, with it gets finished with, kiln dried red oak firewood. It's like
And
firewood
it's
grill, but
delivered from Uppercut Meats at St. Lawrence Market, right?
uppercut. Yeah, absolutely. And I've always been a foodie myself, right? So I guess if I had my own, selfish desires, but if I like it myself, why not share it with others? And really, that's what this whole experience is about, right?
Well, I think that's one of the big pluses of Turks and Caicos too, just the accessibility of great food. Because there's
Oh
tons
yeah,
of great food and tons of great food within a walking distance of your front doorstep,
yeah, yeah.
which is
Well,
pretty
that's the
awesome.
other thing. We have a Caribbean food and wine festival, so it attracts a lot of foodies, but there's an amazing plethora of incredible dining experiences here. It's for the size of the space of the place, you wouldn't believe there were so many great dining options from casual to fine dining. Yeah, there's our grill, tomahawk steak,
Yeah.
our lamb. That's like that's Ontario lamb that we bring in, but obviously you can see some shao mai there. So we do the Asian side, but we also do steak and fingerling potatoes too, right?
Yeah, I think one of the big pluses as well with we is it converts or an element of we is the chef's table where, historically we've brought on some celebrity chefs doing guest appearances at the resort during select nights. So, if you own a cottage at Kokomo, you might want to plan your trips to Kokomo
One
around
of
the
those,
time where we have the celebrity chefs.
that's right. Yeah, so you have what's called workcations, digital nomads on the one side, but then you get chefs. They mean to take a vacation too, and so but they love what they do, and so the chef table, the entire operations. Then when we have the chef's table on, you don't have to buy the table; you just buy a seat. It's like you're going to an event, and so you get these chef curated menus by these celebrity chefs that come in. We've had a couple, in the more recent past that it's just an incredible experience. But then you're getting people here on the island vying for the same seats as our guests and obviously our owners too when they're here. But it just makes for a super fun experience. You got to eat well to live well, right?
Definitely.
So
So let's go to some of the exclusive perks for the property owners. And I'll let you go through these, Kelly.
yeah. Well, first of all, you're when you're buying into a dream, this is a dream that already exists. I mean, essentially, get on a plane, come here, pick a cottage, buy today, close tomorrow. It's ready to go. It's not a pre-con project where you got to wait X number of years. And with the crazy inflation that's going on, even unless you got it committed to a price in a pre-con, which you might have to wait, like I said, you may be waiting 3 to 5 years. I mean, but life starts now. And if that's anything we learned through the whole pandemic experience, live in the now, do what you can when you can. And here, so it's like we don't have to build a dream. The dream's built. You just have to come and experience it. Like all the heavy lifting is done. So everything's fully furnished and it's fully equipped. The back of house staff, the front of house staff, it's all there, to own a home in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and like it says there, no taxes, no taxes, no taxes. It's like, so you can own a home away from home, right? We actually have a couple people that, because they're all 2-bedroom units and the price point, they said, I'll buy 2 and then I've got 4. And so even if I don't have family with me or friends with me, then I'm still earning revenue while I'm in vacation in my vacation home, because it's like having a lockout, but it's a completely separate unit as a lockout. So everyone has their privacy when the time comes as well, So, it's like locking in a lifestyle at a fixed price.
Now going on to the Concierge Club, which is a really unique opportunity for people that want to go down to Turks and Caicos and just have everything taken care of for them. They don't have to worry about a thing.
Their wish is our command. right? And we got around to this whole concept because it's small, it's intimate. The people that are already owners here, there's a couple of them that were early adopters. It's just like they love coming back, right? But it's because we take care of our owners like we take care of our guests. And so, wow, I want to make a reservation, or I want to go boating, I want to go fishing, I want to get a massage. It's like they're a resort guest that pays us, hundreds of dollars a night. And then they have obviously to pay for whatever it is, that the excursions or whatever you may. But, we have our own fleet of rental cars on the property. So I want a car for the day. Boom. Yeah, I got my car for a day. I don't have to worry about going and renting it. And the thing is that you don't have to walk 200 yards from your parking space to your cottage either. Everything is close by, but, out of sight, but close by and convenient for you. So, you want to go somewhere for the day, or you just have the freedom of having a car while you're down on vacation, then it's done, and then with this voucher, like it's like a credit system. All right, I want to use it in the restaurant, I want to use it for the spa. It's just all there on your account to do what you want and when you want. And then some people that try to come down with there's different events, charities and fundraisers, and just different things going on the island. And quite frankly, when we announce celebrity chefs coming, it's like, all right, then you get like the early bird knowing, hey, you want to be here, the chef's going to be here, to have exclusive access to those seats, because there's only at the chef's table there's 9 seats. Once they're gone for that night or for that meal. So it's just like just modeling after the country club type experience, to have everything's taken care of for you.
I think that $100 a day voucher is quite key. And Kelly, just to touch on some of the opportunities or amenities they can use that on, including including We Market Cafe, including Lavina Spa. Are there some other opportunities they can use that voucher as well?
Absolutely. Well, on the resort side, we work with some of the best eco adventure providers on the island. We're very particular as to who we partner with and work with. So you want to go fishing, you want to go boating, you want to go diving. It could all be used towards that type of experience as well. Yeah. Actually, we're literally trying to model it right now that it would include in the annual concierge club fees, where they could literally all right, I'm gonna have an afternoon or a half day experience on the water, out in the water with a boat. These excursions, for a half day could be $2,000, $3,000. So yeah, it's built into your club membership dues. So it's like it's all there, right?
Yeah, I deep sea fishing when I was there was just fantastic. Had an amazing time, and I've done snorkeling there as well, which is also amazing. And they just scratched the surface. I was only able to scratch the surface, so much more to check out and explore. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get into the nitty gritty then and talk about pricing. And specifically the comparison, which is interesting. If you look at the average house price in a metropolitan city such as Toronto, or if you're looking at a cottage in the Muskokas, you're looking at Kokomo at half the price.
Without the tax. Mm-hmm. That means something maybe to people that are, in the audience from Canada. And Muskoka is, I just remember from being, a kid going to our cottage there, and it's just insanely expensive. And in the Turks and Caicos Islands, at this price point, if you actually went on to like the Takria, like the MLS type listing in Turks and Caicos Islands, we're not listed with real estate agents and brokers. We want to keep the cost down and save that 6%, that would basically get factored and built into the price. But right now in the Turks and Caicos Islands, if you looked at the sub 500,000, whether it's pre-con or existing, I think there's only 10 places available in the whole country, right? So, if there's only 10 places, everything is more expensive than that. Supply and demand, there's certainly demand out there when there's only that few places available. And so at this price point, they're not going to last long once the word gets out. Just like 27, 30 years ago, I came here, it's 93, but it's just like the word gets out, then everyone's coming to the door now. right? So first
And
come,
and
first serve,
and
right? It's
everything's
a
taken care of. Everything's taken care of,
yeah,
from resort furniture, fixtures, equipment package.
yep,
Everything's taken care of for you. You don't have to worry about, finding, shipping, furniture, anything. All that stuff does not need to be
zero.
taken care of. All you need to worry
No.
about is booking those adventures. you know?
Well, concierge will take care of that, not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you have freehold title. So you own a home away from home, and when you're not using the home, it's constantly generating revenue for you to offset the costs of home ownership, and they easily carry themselves. And then you factor on top of that all of your vacation time that you're going to have down here with your family and friends. It's
With
like
100%. It's worth mentioning, Kelly. I think this is important to mention is, right now, we're in the midst of summer, and yet you're 100% booked up. You're booked out right now.
yep,
Fully
it's just
booked out.
it's right now, this day, the 28th or 27th. Yeah, 27th. Yeah, it's just like people find it. I mean, people find the destination and find the destination, want to come here, but they said, geez, it's expensive there. And this is why we refer to ourselves as being accessible luxury. Now, if we were on the beach, though, it'd be a whole nother ballgame, right? You got the experience, but again, you're not locked to one beach. Why have one when you can have them all? But as soon as you're going to different beaches, now you're having different experiences, and that's really what Alive is all about. Alive, I didn't mention, but it's an acronym: accessible, luxury, island, vacation, experiences done well. Yeah.
So live your best life at Kokomo. But I think the first step that people need to take advantage of the opportunities, you kind of need to touch it and feel it, right? So,
Absolutely.
and the question for you as the audience, are you ready to explore Turks and Caicos? Are you ready to explore Kokomo? Because we have a special bonus offer for all of you that are watching here today.
Walk the land, come and sit down and have a face-to-face. We'll have a latte, at the Wee Market Cafe, get the vibe for the property, get the vibe for myself, the energy that's here, the positivity that's here. And if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, hey, listen, you came for a vacation, right? But and you'll have an amazing experience, just like all the big, great reviews that we get online. I just strongly encourage people, book your flights. If you want to track flights in the meantime, you can go with Google Flights. You can put in your closest airport code to PLS. That's the airport code for Turks and Caicos Islands, Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, PLS. And then you just watch the flights, whether you're on economy class or premium economy. Google will send you a notification when there's a changing in the pricing. And, it's not bad to begin with, but and then before you know it, we won't be having a virtual conversation like we are today. Well, it'll be the real thing on the property, not looking at a bunch of pretty plans and photo renders. Pick your cottage. Right?
Yeah, I think it's from Toronto, where I'm based. It's a 4-hour flight, right?
Yeah.
4 hours, just under 4 hours, I believe.
Yeah, it's actually gate to gate. It's like 3 hours and 20 odd minutes.
Yeah, and the airport there in Provinciales, I believe it's getting a massive upgrade as well. I mean,
there's the tenders are out. It's been shortlisted down to the last word that I had. I think there was 5 different parties vying to do it, but it's a $350 million. It's like extreme makeover on the airport side.
And also
it's very much needed, but this place has got explosive growth. So government's got to do its part with the infrastructure at the same time.
You know what I loved about it? We didn't even hit on was the simple fact that Providenciales is a population of 40,000. Right?
That's Turks and Caicos. Provo's
Turks
less
and
than
Caicos
that.
is 40,000. And what's
Yeah.
Providenciales?
Yeah. I don't think anybody really knows. The vast majority of the people may be here. So, maybe there's 30 here or something like that. And all the sister islands. I mean, the archipelago of the Turks and Caicos Islands is like 40 islands, but 6 of them are the ones that are inhabited.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're watching here today, we have a fantastic opportunity for you to go down and explore Kokomo for yourself. If you book through this webinar, use that code PARADISE. Go to kokomobotanicalresort.com, use the code PARADISE, and you'll get a $100 voucher per day during your stay. This is a fantastic opportunity to see if Kokomo is a great fit for you. And I strongly encourage you to take advantage of this offer. It will be available to you for you to book online until December 15th, I believe, is the date. Yeah. So if you want to take advantage of it, I strongly suggest you go ahead and go for it. And hopefully maybe myself will see you there. I'm sure Kelly would love to meet you and give you the dog and pony tour of Kokomo, because there's a lot to see.
With open arms. Yeah, like that voucher, the whole reason by that voucher, just as a closing point, is that we want you to experience what we're all about, right? So it's like you don't feel like you have to take money out of your pocket to go to the restaurant or to the spa or whatever excursion you want to do. So you get a real feel for it. I believe in myself. I believe in our product. And if you give yourself the chance, I think you'll be a believer too.
Definitely. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you can reach out to us at islandlife@kokomobotanicalresort.com. Or just visit us through the website. We have a chat option there as well, and we're accessible by call. You can catch that number on the website as well. Nice. Kelly, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon down at Kokomo.
Yeah, off the Florida Keys, a place to get away from it all.
Way down in Kokomo.